Hi everyone. I was having a day off today. Hi everyone. Hi Two-Time. Brilliant interview with Ben Norton. Thank you. Thank you so much. Global Research News Hour provided more excellent coverage on SoundCloud too. It was important to get that right. It really was. Because there's just... I saw a BBC article about it today. In fact, while I'm here doing this live stream, because I hadn't prepared to do any live stream today. I've actually got to do my tax returns. So I thought what I'll do is I'll get a little bit happy, if you know what I mean, and I'll have a couple of beers and I'll do my taxes that I think have to be in by the 31st of January. So I've got about 4 days. It will only take me about an hour to do, but it's a ball ache. So that was my plan for today. I wasn't going to do anything. But I saw this story and I thought I might as well just go live and just, you know, say hi to everybody. But I also saw this as well. And this just drives me mad because this was the BBC. This is how they're propagandizing people. With regards to this bloody US and Canada and, you know, certain countries led coup and backed coup in Venezuela that you were talking about there Two-Time. Hi everyone. Hi Nikki. Dingo ate me baby. Hi mate. Hi Rebecca. How are you? I hope your uni's going well. I hope you're keeping up with the poems. That poem you did, Rebecca, was fantastic. Really was. That poem on Yemen. So impressed with that. Hi Dan. Dan Roy's this book. Hi everyone. Yeah, I mean, it's not even. I'm looking at them now. You know, let me just show you what I can see. So this is the website. Look, this is the news website. So it's not even on the front page now. They've got why thousands of people are fleeing Venezuela. You know what? I could look into that. I'm sure I'll look into that and do a video on it because I'm sure it's nowhere near what the truth is. But their article on Venezuela is really Christ, it's not even. Here it is. This is literally just from start to finish propaganda. There is no historical context there. There's no mention of the oil at all, which is what this is all about. There's no mention that this guy, the opposition, has literally no support, and his approval rating is not much better than Maduro's. There is no mention there of the solid 30% base that Maduro has got with the Chavistas that are out there in the sticks and the barrios and the organisations, these small little pockets of democracy that is sprouting up in Venezuela. It's fantastic to see, and they're just crushing it, and the BBC are not fucking reporting a damn thing. It's just disgusting what they're doing. So I've no doubt I will do a video on this. This drove me mad today. When it's the Guardian or the Independent or the Telegraph, I tend to, not so much with GCHQ's mouthpiece anymore, but I tend to poke fun at it. I don't know, I try to laugh at it almost. But when it's the BBC, that's people... Older people especially put so much weight behind the BBC and the establishment and the history behind it. This is just total bollocks. There's nothing there in historical context. There's nothing at all. And it is painting a picture that is not even close to what reality is for the Venezuelan people. And more importantly, the 30% solid base that Maduro has got from people who are acting in the Bolivarian way. And I'm doing a video on Venezuela tomorrow about the Bolivarian way and just what it means and who Simon Bolivar was and what he thought and how he was so disappointed at the end of his life because what he dreamt of, he just saw it evaporate, and he saw the pigs become the men at the end of Animal Farm. Spoiler alert. He saw that happen in real time with his own country after he took it back from the Spanish Empire. And this is This is what Venezuela and South America and Latin America really does run through the backbone of their country, and they're not fucking saying a damn thing, and it drives me mad. So you can tell I've had a half a beer because I'm animated. Anyway, that's just another thing I saw today. But how many's here? I wanted to wait until there's like 30 people here and then get onto this story. Like I said, I wasn't scheduled to do oh, there's 58, so this is not going to be a proper story or anything. I'm just going to go straight into it if you don't mind, everyone. Because I was on Twitter and I knew that the French spokesperson had been hit in the eye by a police flashball. I mentioned it in, I think I might have mentioned it in one of the videos. I'm sure I did. I think I mentioned it in the videos. I've certainly been talking about it on Twitter a lot and tweeting it out. But this is Susie Dawson, by the way. Let me find the tweet because she's who I actually found it from. So Susie Dawson tweeted this out. This is the moment of the unprovoked attack in which the protest leader in France was shot in the eye and blinded by riot police yesterday. Blinded in one eye. He lost his eye. Footage from the victim's own live stream as it happened. Now this is on YouTube, so I can't show it, but what I can do, I can't show all of it rather. I'll show a little clip, so stop here, but what I can do, to be fair, because I want you to all see, because this whole video is about 5 minutes long, so I will show a little bit of a clip here, but I want to show it you all because there is a point to this. So that's the clip to the longer video, but this is the smaller video, the shorter video that this is the shorter video. I think it's 3 minutes and 20 seconds that I wanted to, the moment it happens. 1 minute and 30 seconds. So this is the lead up to it happening. That's it happening there. So that's the explosion. Let me just try and get the exact moment, because in the so there's the police there lining up, and you can see he's just standing there filming. It's not really doing anything. And then, see, that's it. It comes over, and that's the flash. That's the moment the guy lost his fucking eye. The mainstream media have got a fucking blackout on this, I'm sure of it, because they are not reporting on this incident at all. At all are they. Then it's the bare minimum, I think. Let me just yeah, like this. Over. I think. Do you think they'll cover this? I mean, you know, that's the moment it happened. They've got to cover this, haven't they? They've got to cover this. The guy's lost his eye, and apparently he is the spokesperson, or one of the spokespeople for the yellow vest, and is actually prominent in the movement. He's literally just standing there, and he's lost his fucking eyeball. You know, and is it any wonder that these police and the police around, police in the Western countries, police in France and the UK, and you know, and in America especially, are getting their training from the IDF in Israel with these sort of tactics? It sickens me. It really does. And the media haven't been covering this. And this, I think, this could be the spark. I've been... Sorry, let me say hello to everybody, and I'll come back to this. I'll come back to this. Let me say hello, because I just want to talk to you, if you don't mind, on this live stream. Like I say, I didn't plan anything today, but I wanted to show you that because this guy's lost his fucking eye. And let me come back to what I wanted to talk about. Because there's something I learned recently. Because I've been looking back at protests and large protests in history in the United Kingdom, and there are similarities going, and I'll come to that in a bit. I want to say hello to everybody. Rebecca, I tell you what, yeah, Rebecca Miller, one of my subscribers. Sorry, I'm probably really loud, aren't I, with the microphone there. Rebecca Miller in the chat, one of my subscribers, she sent me a poem. She saw one of my videos. She's at college or university, I believe. No, university, I believe. And she said that she didn't know about Yemen and what was happening in Yemen. And she found out from one of my videos and was inspired to actually write a poem. And she wrote the poem, and I shared it on my Twitter. I probably can't find it now, Rebecca, but I will put it out. I will retweet it on my Twitter later, if I can find it, or if you retweet it, Rebecca, and tag me into it, I'll retweet it again. It was excellent, it really was, and it was lovely to know that, you know, I made a little bit of, I've opened somebody's mind to just, I'm making a little bit of difference. It's lovely. Venezuela democracy bombs on the way. I know the democracy bombs that, you know, they don't kill, they don't incinerate people. No. No. BBC are appalling. They are, Tu's time. There is no concern for an alternative view. It's not just an alternative view, it's outright propaganda. It's outright propaganda now. And you've got to ask, to what end? And when you start running those conclusions through your head, no fucking good ones enter your mind, and they're all catastrophic. It can really get to you sometimes. So I hope you don't mind me having a beer on Sunday while I'm relaxing. And Costa Rica is supporting the ridiculous attempted takeover. I'm ashamed, says Jean. It's not just Costa Rica, you just look at the governments. And this is why I wanted the second video on Venezuela. It's so important that I do it, because people really need to understand the Bolivarian way in South America, and understands that the countries standing with Venezuela right now in Latin America are the Bolivarian countries, or rather the countries who have a Bolivarian leader. Argentina used to. They had, I believe it was a husband and wife duo, and the young lady, she was on one of they were heavily on one of the documentaries. Somebody will probably mention it in the chat, the name of it, and it was an Oliver Stone documentary, and it was sort of almost filling in a gap that was in the complete history that he did of the United States. And it was all about South America. And he went down there and he interviewed Chavez, and he interviewed the leaders of Argentina and you know, these other Bolivarian countries down there. And it was remarkable, and you know, that's how I found out about how, I mean, this is going back some time now, but this how I found out about how the United States were utilizing the IMF, and how the IMF is so detested by these Bolivarian countries and the people who follow the Bolivarian way, because they know how the IMF is used to manipulate the currency within the country and keep it volatile. And it's this is why Cuba at one stage, because of what was happening with their fight with America, now I have to go more in depth in this, but it's why Cuba eventually literally just banned their own people from using dollars, because the dollars were coming in from the outside and the tourists, and it was just flooding the market. And you know, it was that was how the takeover in Cuba was happening, and they had to almost ban their own people from using it. And you know, taxi driver, you would give a taxi driver a tip of $1. I remember one of my friends saying, who went over there every year, he says you could give a taxi driver $100 tip, and it was like it'd be worthless pieces of paper to him because you couldn't use it. You know, you had to be. It was really quite strange. I've got to go into it more and get all of my ducks in a row. But you know, anybody in any country in South America that has a Bolivarian movement in power is behind, obviously, Venezuela, and anybody who's not is pretty much a neocon or neoliberal organisation backed by the US. I'll go into it more in depth on the videos. But yeah, that's why I want to cover that so in depth, because I just find it really interesting. Just really interesting. History, especially. Looking back in history. Yeah, I know you have. Keith Durant in the chat just says, go for it, Gordon. You know I have been waiting for you to really tell them a whole over Venezuela. It's not just Venezuela either. See, the thing is, in my investigation, and Keith will know this because Keith's been sending me a lot of information that he's found on South America, which has been really helpful. And I've obviously gone out and done my own research, and it's been going for quite a while now. If you go back to the first Venezuela video I did, I think it might have been back in June or July. And so I've been obviously researching a hell of a lot more ever since. I know a hell of a lot more than I did then, and my eyes were open wide back then. So, you know, if you look at Bolivia at the moment, Bolivia have pretty much the same sort of economy as Venezuela want, and their economy is increasing by something like 6% GDP over the last few years, which is astounding. But then Bolivia don't have the oil reserves that Venezuela have, so they're not as much of a target for the American empire. I'll go into it more in this video, this upcoming video. I want to try and get it done tomorrow, but I've got a feeling it's going to be one of those videos that I've got to put a lot of time and effort in. I'd like to, you know, try and utilize this thing behind me a little bit more, and maybe get the production level up and sort of use visuals to help me talk more rather than being a mechanical thing, and maybe do it in a post edit. So that's how I'm going to do that video, but I want to get it right. Then there are some other ones I want to do as well that I've got written down in front of me. Yeah, there's that one. Oh, there's that one. Oh, yes, there's that one. You're going to love that one, Labour supporters. The Labour supporters, when they see that, are going to go, what? What? Yeah, I've got to talk about the Roger Stone thing, because I'm glad I haven't had time to do it so far, because every day that's evolving into just yet another Russiagate absolute clusterfuck. And then there's the Washington Post article about the YouTube changing the algorithm once again. Everybody, there's another algorithm change coming. I tweeted that out last week. Washington Post did an article on it. Well, they say Washington Post did an article on it. No, they didn't. Washington Post were the mouthpiece for YouTube's changes, is what they were. And then obviously, I don't know whether you understand this, but Integrity Initiative have had Anonymous dump part 5 of their files. So I have to talk about that, which I've been reading and looking into. I've got a video on Tulsi to do as well. So yeah, I'm going to be busy. Yeah. So I was talking, well, what I was talking about was this, wasn't I? This. Because I've been looking back in history, and there's a guy, you'll probably see this and hate me for it, but hey, there's a guy who's one of my subscribers, and I get people send me emails all the time, and I always read them. Sometimes I don't get a chance to respond to them, but I always get around to reading them. There's one of my subscribers called he's a guy called Oz Whistles, and he's got life figured out. He's got life figured out. He makes these beautiful penny whistle things, handcrafted things, and he sent me a wonderful email. It might have been just before Christmas. It was a wonderful email, and he suggested one thing. He suggested one thing that I do, And so I decided to check it out, and it was it was something that I've got about 5 hours into, and I think there's about 30 hours or something like that. And it was remarkable, actually, because the direction he's took me in is exactly what I needed. Exactly, that's what I need to understand more. And then in the next thing he said to me, I think it was in one of the comments, and because he'd sent me that wonderful email, I saw his comment, and he suggested that he mentioned that he was looking back in history about the Peasants' Revolt and history. So I started watching this documentary on it, and the Peasants' Revolt, and if I get the year wrong, GM might sue me. I've had a beer, I don't care. I believe it was 1381, and this is pretty much during the medieval times. So there's pretty much not much law and order. They can get away with everything. You know, the monarchy are the monarchy. They fucking rule with an iron fist. If you do anything, you're going to get hung, drawn and quartered. And, you know, it was medieval. You know, when they say go to work with you on a blowtorch and a pair of pliers in medieval, it's not even the start. You should see some of the tools they used were incredible. But they essentially, how the Peasants' Revolt started, and it's called the Peasants' Revolt, but it really shouldn't be, because calling it the Peasants' Revolt is not giving it justice, because peasants to us means, well, it's peasants, people who are poor. Back then, people who were peasants were basically anybody who were not in, I think, full-time service to the crown. So bakers were peasants, you know, bakers and blacksmiths and, you know, tradesmen and all that sort of thing. It wasn't just poor people who had no money. It was, you know, people who had it was tradespeople. And King Richard, who was a boy child at that time, had all these ridiculous people around him who were just raping the wealth of all these people. And essentially what they did was create a poll tax. That's what it was. It was a poll tax. And they went around and started collecting it from all the little villages. There were just little villages back then, and little villages and towns. And I've forgotten what they were called now. They were like the tax collectors, if you like. And they paid it. The peasants paid it for quite some time. It didn't actually become a revolt until one of these tax collectors actually went a step too far in his being a brute and reached his hand up a young girl's skirt and grabbed her vagina. And I believe the father at the time was a baker. Now, if I get any of the things wrong here, don't blame me. Blame the fact I've had a beer, and this was weeks ago that I saw it. But it's a documentary. It's on YouTube. You can go and watch it. It's called The 1381 Peasants' Revolt. It's narrated by Tony Robinson, who was Blackadder, who was in Blackadder, Baldric. I have a cunning plan. That guy. And it's a 2-part series, and it's excellent. It really is. But the thing is, the thing that started the Peasants' Revolt, which ended in disaster, by the way, spoiler alert, they went too far. Watch it, it's fantastic. But that was very similar going forward in history, not just as how and when revolutions happen. It's always when there's a giant disparity in wealth between the poorest and the richest. It's always when the money is always flowing to the top. And it's always when a giant amount of people, a giant amount of the voting electorate have no voice. Always. Always. Where are we now? And in every single instance, there's bits of unrest, but then there's one flashpoint that starts it all off, and there's one person that starts it all off. And what I'm wondering is, could it be this? Could this be the literal flashpoint to this French Revolution becoming a real French Revolution? Which is why I'm sitting here having a beer and thinking, hey, maybe it could. Maybe this could be the flashpoint. Maybe this could be, you know, the incident similar to, I think it was that baker's daughter in 1381 that sparked the peasants' revolt. I want to go on in history and look at the revolutions in the 15th and the 16th century and onward, not just in the UK, but also elsewhere. I'm starting, after cursory readings, to find similar themes and starting to see very real similarities in the world today. I hope you don't mind me going off on a rant like that. I do like these live streams though. Keith Durant just sent you links from Mint Press asking if a coup is underway in Bolivia, he says. It's an assault on the Bolivarian way of life, this is. This is what the point I want to make. It's an assault on the Bolivarian way of life. This is why people like Benjamin Norton, who I'm so grateful for doing that interview with me for. I was so surprised when he responded. Wonderful. Thank you. It's why he talks about the Bolivarian way, because it runs through the very fabric of society in not just in those countries, but also in Latin America and the whole of South America, in other countries as well that are with America. There is a base of people that actually support Venezuela. You know, always flashpoints that start it. I mean, you know, could that be the literal flashpoint that actually started a global movement? And could that be why the media are just not showing the yellow vests? They're not showing it. You know, RT and Rupley, as you saw, many of you will probably have seen on Jimmy Dore's show last night with that interview with Abby Martin with Mike Preisner. Wow, they're good. They really are. Watch when those videos drop over the next few days. They're going to be really good. But they were saying very similar things to what Ben was saying and more. The Bolivarian way is really important. Is Mr. Dimmack aware of the young lady at Dapple with half of her forearm blown off by police grenade? Yeah, I am. I'm also aware there's another lady protester that's actually still in prison. And that's just absolute bullshit. I saw a lot of reporting in my time through, you know, Dapple and the other one, the Keystone pipelines, through the great work of Jordan Chatterton, who I think he's live right now, by the way. Somebody's just recognised me, King of France. No, President of France. Merci. Merci beaucoup. Look at that, by the way. Isn't that cool? Yes, Vanessa Peely did a video on this on it yesterday. She did the video on the incident. That's how I tweeted Vanessa Peely's video out, and I don't think they're covering it. You know, I haven't looked at the media intently today, but I don't think they're covering it. I'll go and look at it tomorrow. I can't believe that. Somebody sent me a super chat, didn't I? Learned Hand, thank you so much for that. He said, keep illuminating the truth. Thank you very much, Learned Hand. That's very, very kind of you. I'm not going to hang around on this one, and guys, I hope you don't mind me just coming on and having a bit of a rant like that. But yeah, I was having a day off today because I had that crap to do, and I've still got that crap to do later. I'm waiting for a flashpoint. Not just in France, but in the United Kingdom and in the United States and in other countries too. In the United States, they were talking about it last night on Jimmy Dore's live stream. There's not going to be the only protest you can have in the United States right now. The only giant protest they should be having, really. I say the only one. Climate change is a big one, but if they have a protest for Medicare for all, that's a good one, because that's what they need. Because if they do get Medicare for all and they have their Medicare their insurance sorted out, that gives them freedom to then protest other things, which is almost, I think, one of the reasons why they do not want to give you Medicare for all, because they know once you get Medicare for all, hey, all of a sudden you're not scared of your health or dying anymore. You'll go out and protest, because if you lose your job, hey, you still got your health care, you know? I might do a video about that. You're a bit red. I've had a few beers. Nikki says, you're a bit red, Gordon. Are you okay? No, I've had a few beers. Been a bit happy today. Yeah, Vanessa's reports from France and Mike Price and the take on the military are spot on, says Joe Hickey. Non-violent direction action. Yeah, Mike Price is really good. Really good. I have to start listening to his podcast. He does a podcast called Eyes Left. I'll have to try catching it. I don't get the chance anymore. I don't get the chance to talk. I don't get the time to listen. Peroni. Somebody just asked, what beer am I drinking? Martin Evans. Peroni. There's a Japanese beer. I've stopped drinking, because usually I used to drink whiskey, you see. On a weekend I used to drink whiskey, and I've stopped because I don't want to, when I drink whiskey I drink too much of it. So I bought myself a couple of these Peronis. And I don't drink anymore anyway, so, you know, a couple of these and I'll be asleep by midnight. But there's a Japanese one, I think it's called a Zuri, that's really nice as well, that I've found. Nice to sit down and have a beer with you there. Mine is a coffee still just past noon here, says Keith Durant. Yeah, this is pretty much what I did, why I did the live stream, just sit down and have a beer. But I wanted to get that, just highlight that to people, and really get a video out there and just say, are the media going to cover this? Are they going to make a big deal about this? Now, I'll look at the French media as well, see how they're covering it. Because I think the media have been told don't cover these things. They must have. They must have. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a little thing called a DSMA to do with that. We shall find out. Propaganda says, why isn't Canada revolting? We have healthcare. Canada, the people of Canada are too nice to be revolting. Think about it. Too nice. I've met some great guys from Canada before, especially during my poker days. Fantastic guys from I always got on well with Canadians because I found their manners were similar to those of the in the UK. You know, we apologise in the UK. We'll apologise for stepping on somebody. We'll apologise if somebody steps on our foot. We'll apologise, you know. And Canadians are, I think, similar. Although, you know, hey, some people will say, no, what you're doing is you're creating a stereotype there, and it's really, really bad, and we have to move away from this stereotype because, you know. Yeah, Rebecca Miller says the protests are too splintered in the USA. It would take something big to set it off. I think they need a, because they're not getting. You've got approval ratings for stricter gun control at something like 97%. Guess what? You ain't fucking getting it. You could get approval rating for Medicare for all to be 99% of the Democratic Party, and it's close anyway. It's already 9 in every 10. And you could get it to 7 in every 10 Republicans, and it's already in 54%. You could get it as high as 98%. You still ain't fucking getting it. You're not getting it. The only way you're going to get it is get out in the streets. And that I think needs to be the protest, because then if they get it, and it'll need to be millions of them. What's the figure? Is it 3%? What's the 3%? So you're talking 10 million plus it needs in the streets in America, I reckon. to get Medicare for all, 10 million plus. And then the police will use violence against them, you can guarantee it. Because it has to be disobedient. The unrest has to be disobedient. It has to be a yellow vests movement. Because otherwise they'll take no fucking notice. And it'll be like that, you know, that protest that I was at a few weeks ago, which was, I think, you know, had the same sort of effect as the pussy hat thing over in America when Trump was inaugurated. You know, that was one of those well-planned, great day out moments. What happened? First of all, there was no point to it. Second of all, what happened? What did it change? Nothing, because they had no point and they were obedient. It has to be a non-violent, civil, disobedient movement over there with 10 million people plus, I think, in America, before you're going to get Medicare for all. They could have approval rating for it at 98, 99%. They're still not going to fucking get it because the owners don't want that. Felt like I was going to go on into a George Carlin rant then. Two-time, Gordon Dimmack, just remembered you're providing great coverage. Thank you. So glad to be a patron. Thinking another coffee a month would help. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for everybody who supports me monetarily. I couldn't do without you. Will you be able to get Peroni after Brexit? I don't know, Martin Evans. I can see the BBC article now. No deal Brexit, biggest threat to Peroni. You can see it bitten written. No deal Brexit, biggest threat to... If they put no deal Brexit, biggest threat to tea, I think there might be uproar. Or coffee. What else do British like? No deal Brexit, biggest threat to complaining about the weather. What? Can't have that. Joe Hickey says, I think most people knew that Macron and Trudeau were neoliberal. They were just the lesser of two evils. Again, yes, they did, which is why, you know, in France especially, you had a far right being the closest to them because that was the only populist movement by the look of it. There was no real left populist movement at that time, or the left populist movement was fractured and splintered. Either way, you know, it's going to be some sort of populist movement that gets rid of this, you know, let's call it what it is. It's a right wing, it's two right wings. It's, you know, neoliberalism, centre right. It's almost like a far right policy, if you like. Neoconservative is definitely far right. So, you know, let's break the bullshit. The only way we're going to fix that is by having a left sort of populist movement, although I don't particularly like the term. Thank you for sending me that, Nikki. France24.com. Have they red scarves and blue vests launched counter protest against the yellow vests? Oh God, please tell me this isn't a bunch of fucking stupid liberals. The yellow vest paralysed much of the country. With slow... You've got to see this. It's France 24. Red scarves and blue vests launch counter-protest against the yellow vest. Thanks for sending that, Nikki.
They came from all over France for this Republican march, and it all started on social networks, but that's all they have in common here, the red scarves with the yellow vest. The red scarf protesters, they got together today for the first rally in real life here in Paris in order to say that they want the yellow vest movement to stop. They're against the yellow vest movement.
You can imagine, you can imagine that this is going to turn into some sort of fucking Broadway musical with the red scarves versus the yellow vests. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like something out of, you know, it's something out of bloody Greece. The T-birds and the What were the other? The
Doesn't
pink
mean that they are
ladies.
pro-government. Some of
Fucking
them
hell.
are supporters of President Emmanuel Macron. Some of them here are saying we already voted. We have to let him work. Some others understand the demands of the yellow vest protesters, but are saying that they don't agree with the way the yellow vests are protesting. They don't agree with the violent clashes.
Nikki, I'm correct in assuming this is the
roadblocks. That's also one of the slogans.
Story on France 24, not the guy who just lost his fucking eye. It is. I've got to find out about how much of a spokesperson this person is, because they've got nothing on there, have they? So they've run a story about... So their top video on France 24 is a story about some fucking right-wing... What is it, 50 people there or something like that, wearing some red scarves and some blue vests, who think this is a Broadway musical. Nikki, thanks for that. This is gonna be a fucking video. Oh god, I'm bookmarking this. I want Gordon to upload directly to Minds.com. Man, Minds, get your shit together. Get your shit together, Minds. Upload automatically from YouTube, and then my stuff will go on there. Otherwise, I've got to go over there, I've got to log in, I've got to copy paste, I've got to do all that bullshit. It's time consuming, and I don't get enough out of it at the moment for it to be worth my while. Please just set up something so I can do it fucking automatically, or somebody show me a script that can be put into it that it can be done. I have my own website set up so my videos automatically go to it. I don't see why Minds can't provide that fucking service. You know, YouTube are actually going to take that service away, by the way, to automatically upload to Twitter. They're actually taking that away by the end of this month. Just a heads up. Yes, it's a bunch of stupid liberals, says Nicky M. I'll go into that in a fucking video. I can see that's going to be a funny one. But you have to laugh at them. You have to laugh at them when you can. I tend not to laugh at the BBC because they have a duty, and you know they've just told me I've got to pay the fucking TV license as well. Can you believe it? France 24 is an intelligence agency front, says propaganda. Says the Guardian. Guardian, do you own a yellow vest? Is it in? I think it's in the room somewhere. Yeah, I have it. It's in my bag. It's in my bag. I bought one before I went down to London. But I haven't used it yet. I will. I guarantee it. Macron is such a Gordon Brittass. There's Ross Coyle. I remember that show, Gordon Brittass, the Brittass Empire. No, because Brittass was a fucking idiot, wasn't he? I don't think Macron's an idiot. I think he's an evil bastard. He's an evil neoliberal bastard, isn't he? I think Gordon Brittass was incompetent. Mind you, some would say he is incompetent. Look at this country. There's a fireman still in a coma in France. Is it in France? That, Nico and Joe? The fireman is still in a coma from last week or the week before. Check Vanessa's list of injuries. It's horrific. Oh, that could be, I suppose it could be elsewhere. I'm getting down to the bottom. I like Minds, upload direct to Minds and tell Bin. I haven't got the fucking time, mate. I haven't got the time to keep going over there, and you know, I just haven't got the time. I don't get enough out of it. If it goes, if they do something that can you know, have a script that you can put in there and do it, great. But they've got to do it. You know, I could spend time doing it and do it myself, but there's time doing it myself. You know. They've got to do it. It's their fucking platform. You have to implement these things. Otherwise, and it was the same with Steemit. Steemit was the same. It was great, Steemit was. Wonderful, yeah, you know, get money and what have you, but you don't really get any money. And you know what? It takes fucking hours to upload stuff to their system. Because you upload stuff to the system, you press, it all uploads, it takes 45 minutes to do it, you press it and it comes up error. You got to go out, you got to clear your cache, you got to do all that sort of scrap, error. And it was a pain in the arse, and that's why I stopped with Steemit. It needs to be something, especially if you're not going to host it on your own platform, video on your own platform, it needs to be something that you can just do automatically and link towards your YouTube, or a script. There's got to be a script that they could write, come on. Yeah, if they did that, that would be great. I've got Twitter that I use. I'd like to use it less, but at the moment it's the best microblogging platform out there. If there's another one that was better, that was good, that could maybe take the tweets direct from Twitter, then you've got the other platform. I don't know. There's got to be some sort of transition there. Non-pay TV license, they're in breach of the charter. Yeah, I said they want me to pay it. I don't actually watch TV, you see. I don't watch TV, I don't watch the iPlayer, I don't watch any of that shit. However, my neighbour wanted to log into the BBC, so I set her up an account, and I used an old email that I had, that email that was hacked, by the way, before Christmas. Now, she didn't have the password or anything like that. I just logged in there. She had no recollection of the password, but she would log in and look at the iPlayer. Excuse me. Or rather, she used her own password. I didn't know the password. I couldn't tell you. Yeah, so... And because she was using that login to use the iPlayer, they've come after me because I own that. Clever fuckers, I tell you. But I've got to just send them a letter and say, no, this is what's happened, actually, assholes. And by the way, you shouldn't be fucking tracking people's emails like that. Should you? We promised not to give this to second and third parties. Really? Do you? That fucking BBC licence fee, they have a separate organisation you just fucking gave that to. And this is the point I want to make. I might do a video about it once I get into the legalities of it. But no, I don't watch the BBC. I don't watch the iPlayer. And they're still telling me I need to pay the TV licence. And I need to... Rightly. You know what? When I ring them, I'm probably going to record it and put it in a video. And show people how to ring up if they don't watch the TV and they do the BBC and they don't watch iPlayer. And show people how to opt out. I'm going to do a video about it. Because it really pissed me off. They nearly threw me in prison a few years ago for not paying the TV licence. I was that close to going to prison for not paying the TV licence. Poor sod as a family says, no, I'm not a policeman, man. We got Two-Time says, regarding the idiotic arrest of the guy in America, Roger Stone. Listen to the news broadcast on 6 Music, 5:30 PM, Friday unknown. Journalist Spurs by US neoliberal. I know about the Roger Stone thing, mate. I know what's going on there. I forecasted when it happened. Even though Roger Stone, even though what the FBI are accusing Roger Stone of, actually proves what WikiLeaks have said all along is true. This is what it means. What the FBI are accusing Roger Stone of proves what WikiLeaks have said all along about Roger Stone is true. None of the media point that out. They all point connectional, Roger Stone, WikiLeaks, FBI, and it's not. There was an article in the New York Times that did it recently. I'm gonna be careful on that. Because there's so many things to concentrate on it. Chief among which is the fact that it's plainly obvious that the fucking FBI tipped off CNN to cover the Dawn raid, and you got 12 fully armed SWAT team fucking members, by the look of it, from the FBI turning up at a house just to basically tell the guy's lawyer, yeah, we're going to charge him with stuff. That's it. They didn't do that with Manafort. It was a fucking spectacle. It was theatre. You know, it's one of those videos that it's probably going to be a longer one, so I have to, you know, jot down and piece it together. I just haven't had the time to do it. Extinction Rebellion is compiling a list of cities declaring a climate emergency, says Nikki M. Great. Wonderful. My point was to highlight more BBC innuendo. Yeah, time. There was just so many fucking things I've got to. I need to concentrate on the big things with there, and the big things with that are obviously the fact that it vilifies WikiLeaks, that it proves what WikiLeaks have said all along is true, proves what I've said all along about Roger Stone, in that he's a fucking liar. Is true. It proves that what Roger Stone has been saying all along is fucking bullshit. He's just one of these guys who loves being in the spotlight. He was pictured all day doing that with, you know, the Nixon fucking thing. He's an asshole. He's a puppet. He's a fucking character. He's a character in a play that they're going, oh, look over here. You know, he's playing a part. It's pathetic. It proves Randy Credico, by the way, was telling the truth all along as well. That's another point I need to make. And also, you know, the fact that it proves this Russiagate bullshit is bullshit, and they also proves that the media are fucking complicit in it, because they're using this to actually say it's almost the opposite to what I have just explained it means. And that's why I want to do a longer video on the Roger Stone thing. They're still carrying on with it 2.5 years fucking later. They're still doing it. They are not your friends. They are the fake news. When Trump calls CNN the fake news, he's fucking right. And you know what? The Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, Fox, you can throw them fucking all in there with it. And you know what? TYT with them. Because they are now just repeating fucking propaganda as if it's fact, not even doing any research by the look of it. Because if they had done any research, there's no way they would be reporting the way they are. Come on. You're losing all the credibility that you've built up over the last 20 years. We have got to fucking win this fight. We've got to win it. Serious. Who's the dog in the bottom left? That's Ellie. One of the people, I think it's Jacqueline, who sends me emails all the time. She keeps calling her Lily. It's like, I don't have the heart. Yeah, it's Ellie. Ellie. Come here. Come here. Yeah. You going? Come here. Good. Oh. Oh, I don't even want to know where that tongue's been. Thanks very much. I hope you've got no diseases. I know, TYT, I am too. Phil James, gutted TYT sold out. I don't think. See, I look at it a little bit different. I look at I look at it as if Cenk is trying to fix the system from within. That's my theory on it. He's trying to fix the system from within, and that ain't gonna work. You know, I'm reminded of the Daenerys Targaryen speech. You know, Cenk wants to jump on the wheel. He wants to jump on the wheel of MSNBC on top, and then CNN on top, and Fox on top, and New York Times on top, and Washington Post on top, T1T. He wants to jump on the wheel. People like, you know, and to some degree other people do as well, like Carl Kalinske. They want to jump on the wheel and take over the DNC. You know what? That ain't going to happen, and we haven't got fucking time for you to do it anyway. We've got 12 years to radically change the way we change our lives. Otherwise, we are fucked. And our children are fucked. And our grandchildren are fucked. Unless they're worth about, I don't know, 10 million? We haven't got time for it. Don't jump on the wheel. Break the fucking wheel. That's the best analogy I think I can put on to what I think is going on at TYT. And with regards to the way they're reporting certain stories, it's like, what the fuck is going on there? Because I know that you're a better fucking reporter than that, Cenk, and the people around you do too, and that's why people are so confused. How can you repeat that Luke Harding fucking arse gravy as fact and comment on it? What the fucking matter with you? Every time going, latest Russiagate bombshell, every time he's outside on his phone, Trump is done. Every time you're proven wrong. Is there no recourse? Sooner or later, people are going to look at him and go, everything you've said regardless is this bullshit, this Russiagate bullshit, is just not true. Destroying years of great work and other great work he's doing at the same time. Don't get it. Don't get it. So much respect for what he's done in the past, but on certain stories he's just fucking off by a... He's the polar opposite of where he needs to be, or where he should be, and really, if he wants to be classed as the home of progressives, it's about time he has a fucking progressive point of view. Because the progressive point of view is not WikiLeaks has done bad shit and Julian Assange is evil and he should be arrested and he met Manafort in the embassy when he clearly did not. That's false. That's fake news and you're fucking pushing it without even checking it. No, it's these journalistic enterprises need to start fucking taking their profession seriously. I have reported false stuff in the past and things that genuinely I have made a mistake on. And you know what? It's mortified me for 4 fucking days. And I've got a little channel with 10,000 subscribers. He's there with 3-4 million subscribers pushing absolute fucking falsehoods like Luke Harding's Guardian article as true and not even critically fucking analysing it at all. And what? He doesn't care? He doesn't care that the progressives, real progressives, are looking at him and going, what the fuck are you talking about? What has happened? You know, when he says home of progressives now, progressives fucking laugh. Really want your great network, or the great network it was, turning into a laughing stock. Because that's what it is really turning into. And I'm not doing this to come down on TYT. Honestly, I don't come down on them enough. Out of respect for him. I come down on MSNBC and CNN and all the others are just far worse. They are far worse. I'm not saying that they are in that category. But on certain stories, and especially the Trump, Russia, Putin bullshit, They have been wrong over and over and over for 2 years, and they continue to be wrong over and over, because whenever there's a Russiagate bombshell gotcha smoking gun, we know by now within 24 hours it's going to be an absolute pack of lies or worse, planted story, but he runs out, Trump is done. Sorry guys, that's been building up in me for quite some time, that has. I've wanted to talk to somebody about that for quite some time. I do not hold them at TYT and the people at TYT any ill will at all. I am just fucking disappointed. Honestly, I am. Just disappointed, because what they could have been is amazing, and they made a decision that was, in my opinion, the path of least resistance, and the path that had a bit of money to it as well, and tried to fix things from within instead. And you know what? I can understand why people say he sold out. I said that in my third video. I don't feel that way. I actually feel he's trying to filter the system from within. I think he's an excellent journalist. And which also makes me wonder, why the fuck is he getting stories so wrong? Over and over and over again, when he's got people so close around him yelling in his ear going, this is wrong. But he's stubborn, I suppose. Rational National is against WikiLeaks and Julian. Is he? Good for him. Or bad for him, whatever. Good. Yeah, I haven't listened to anything of David Dole's stuff for quite some time, actually. He was good a while ago. He was really good. I haven't seen him for a while. I don't know whether he's changed. But against WikiLeaks and Julian, come on. I've noticed he's got massive amounts of subscribers now, and radio show. When did he come out against WikiLeaks and Julian propaganda? Go and find out, mate. Go and find out the video and let me know. I bet you there's a link there. Because his subscribers, I think, shot up to 100,000, and he was on 40,000 not long ago, and he's got his own radio show. So did that happen before he came out against WikiLeaks and Julian, or after? Might be worth looking into. I'm just asking questions there. I'm not saying that happened. Just asking questions. What I'd do. David is not against Assange. What the fuck, says Rob Goran. See? There you go. He might not be against WikiLeaks, and I might have just said something to stuck my fucking foot in my mouth. But hey, it was based at the information I had at the time. So if ever I was just asking questions based on that information, and then somebody has just come back and said no, that information is wrong, I'll look into it. I'm not really that bothered, to be honest, though. Okay, I'm down at the bottom. Right, like I say, I didn't want to. I'll probably I'll edit this video and put it out tomorrow. I just wanted to get that off my chest there, because I've got a feeling that, I mean, if France 24 aren't showing it, and I mean, this is not happened in the last 5 minutes. This happened, like, I think 2 days ago now, and they're still not reporting on it. Then there's a blackout. I wanted to get it, you know, out there on camera, so then I can report on it later and show how this fucking thing works up here. All right, everyone. Thanks very much. See you all. It's a bit of a different stream to what I normally do. I'll be back live on Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday. Thanks, everyone. Take care and peace. Love you all.